Can I ask you to do me a favor? Can we do ourselves a favor here? And let's just take the fact that we're in sales and set it off to the side for a second. And I want to ask you a question. Let's say there was something out there in the world that you didn't know you needed, right? And it's important and it's a big decision. It's not a taco. It's not a t-shirt. It's a significant purchase for you. If you're like, I don't make significant purchases, I'm in sales, I buy t-shirts and taco in my personal life, I want you to think about what if it was something big like a change in your mindset, a change in your entire diet, something that's an important decision, not a boom, I want to do this, something that requires you to have a lot of time, energy, and effort and a big commitment to put into, okay? I want you to think about that for a second. You're in that situation. Big deal, right? This is somebody's going to reach out to you in terms of a big deal, okay? How would you want to be, like in your head, how do you see it going down? Forget that you're in sales for 1 second here. It's a big deal. It's an expensive, it's a complicated purchase. How in your head do you ideally, like if you were gonna, play this out like a movie script or a television script, your life, somebody reaching out to you, forget, and there's no wrong answers here, just realistically, how do you guys visualize somebody reaching out to you if it was a good conversation, they gave you a great idea, you decided you wanted to do something, you maybe ended up purchasing or joining that thing or buying that thing. How would the conversation go in your head? Somebody unmute yourself.
It would need to pull out an emotional response from me, I think.
Okay, pull out an emotional response. How would the conversation start?
They would understand my challenges and needs.
They would understand your challenges and needs. I love that. Anyone else, like in your head, if somebody was going to reach out to you in an ideal world with something that you wanted to purchase, something that was going to be an important decision to you, but you didn't know this person. You've never met this person before. This is a cold call to you. How would this go down in your world? This is important that we're doing this exercise because as salespeople, isn't it funny how we just jump into stuff and never look at, well, how would I want this to go down? How would you want it to go down? Go ahead.
They'd have to have some kind of a relationship with someone I know, like, and trust.
Yes, have some kind of relationship. Somebody you know, like, and trust.
They would need to sound important as well, like the information, I need to hear it.
They would need to, I love that. I'm going to actually write that down. I'm going to write those two down. I really like those two. Relationship. They would need to sound important.
They have a great insight.
They'd have a great insight. Somebody's been spending a lot of time on the Easton University. And again, I'm not trying to make this about our system, okay? I'm not trying to make this about Easton University. What I'm trying to do here, guys, is have a conversation that in the history of sales, nobody has ever had. I listened to an entire podcast. I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but I should have been the guest. There was an entire podcast with the #1 SDR from a company you guys all know of, and they had him on, and they're like, this guy's a cold calling genius. And all he talked about was, okay, I open it up with how's it going, because I get the person to be like, hey, it's going great. Then I jump right into this 30-second monologue about we help this. Like I just asked you guys, there's a significant amount of sales professionals on this call. You guys have your black belt in sales. I just asked you, like, how would the perfect call go for you? And we had very little information, but not one person said, you know what? If I was going to buy something, somebody would call me up and they would say, how's it going? And I'd be like, oh, that's so cool that you think my day is good. You want to know how my day? Well, now that you asked, my day's going fantastic. Oh, fantastic. My day's going great too. And they wouldn't say, do you have a minute? Hey, have you got a few minutes? Right? They wouldn't start bragging about how they help people in your industry. Nobody said that, guys. I gave you a lot of time, all of y'all. And nobody said, hey, I would like somebody to call me and talk and brag about all that the work that they're doing for my competitors or in my industry. Okay? They wouldn't do any monologues. None of you guys said, man, I'd really like it if somebody would have a monologue. Yet, this seems to be the way that most people sell. Isn't that weird? It's like, man, if I was going to get from my house to 5th and Main Street, I'd take that road right there, right? Like it's short. I could, hi Barbara, I can see Barbara's Bakery at 5th and Main. Yet we know we would do that in our personal lives. But in our jobs, we're like, okay, if I want to get from 5th to Main, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive backwards 4 miles, then I'm going to go over here, then I'm going to stand over here and do a dance and spin around 3 times, because that's what everybody does. How about we just act like, what's the golden rule? Guys, I don't spend a lot of time in church, but what's the golden rule? Do unto others as you would like done to you. So like stop with the mini monologues. And if you have 5 minutes, I'd like to walk you through it. I really want to book a time with one of our team, and I want to see if you're a fit for, like, all of that stuff doesn't work, right? And maybe just call people and to the point. I like these 2 points. Sound important, right? Hey Dave, Matt Easton, founder of Easton University. You and I are connected on LinkedIn. Full pause. Hey, Charlie, Ben Adams here with Smith Co. I manage all of the Houston market. Full pause. Who you are, how you're connected. How's it going, Ben? Going great, going great. Hey, I wanted to reach out to you personally because I don't think we've worked with your warehouse yet. Can I shoot you over a link to what we're doing here at Smith Logistics so you can take a look when you have some time? I think, and call me crazy, I think if it was an important decision, okay, and you guys can push back on me. I think if it was something where your butt is on the line, your job is on the line, your reputation is on the line, if it's B2B sales, if it's B2C, your money's on the line because it's not a t-shirt or a taco. I'm kind of thinking a perfect world. Like if you had to think about the perfect relationship, somebody calling and changing your life, they wouldn't go into a 30-minute monologue and then start asking you about your business and then pitch something. They would probably just make a connection with you at first. And in some degree, whether it's a really good, skillful way, hey, wanted to reach out to you personally, because I don't think we've helped your team yet. Can I shoot you over a link to what we're doing over here so you can take a look when you have some time? They would passively just, hi, let you know they're out there. And then they would probably call you back a couple days later and say, hey, I was thinking about you guys. And there is something that every logistics company is having to deal with, nobody's talking about. Just wanted to make sure you were aware of it, right? And if it was a voicemail, if you didn't answer the phone, they wouldn't have to say, I'll send you a link, right? Because we can leave hey, there's something going on that every medical practice is having to deal with, nobody's talking about. I wanted to make sure you were aware of it. Or there's something I'd love to get your opinion on. Not, hey Dave, this is Matt with Easton University. We do sales coaching for, medical billing companies, and we work with thousands of companies just like yours every day. And hey, the reason for my call is I just wanted to learn a little bit about your business and where you guys were heading into next year, and go over a few things that we have. It's gross, guys. Like the other people aren't gonna take it seriously. I'd love to talk about this during this session. It's your session. We can talk about anything else. I'm definitely going to be doubling down on more information in the portal and prospecting, because this just seems to be an area where it's difficult for everybody. And this could be an area where we can set ourselves apart, right? We've got to slow down. We've got to stop this idea of like having a clever and witty comeback, having a great opening line. Oh, I'm going to do a pattern disrupt, right? Like if any coach or manager told you, hey, here's the trick. Here's our number one SDR. They've got a pattern disrupt, right? And here's what they're doing. Here's what they're doing, Ian. They're calling and saying, hey, have you got 29 and a half seconds? Because they hear the 29 and a half seconds. Like, wow, that's weird. I haven't heard that. You're not doing that, guys. That's not, nobody, I don't care what the company was. Even the guy on the podcast. His company is not a $57 billion company, even though he thinks it is somehow, because he's saying, do you have 27 seconds? His company's a $27 billion company because they've got some badass solutions. And they've got some great products. And they help other companies achieve results and outcomes. Act as if. You don't have to trick somebody into having a conversation with you by being, hey, how's your day going? I was just talking to the office in the West Coast. When I call the East Coast, I say I was talking to the West Coast. And when I call the West Coast, you guys don't need to do tricks. Just call in and introduce yourself. Let them know who you are, how you're connected. Let them know you have an idea you wanted to get their opinion on. Lead with value. And value, guys. And this, again, this podcast really disrupted me this morning. Because this genius was like, I lead with value. And they're like, oh, that's interesting. And they used a lot of industry buzzwords, like when you get the convo started. If you're using words like convo and all the hip, well, they don't have bandwidth to start a convo with me, you're gross, okay? Just talk normal. And if you think that adding value is scheduling a meeting with an account executive for your team, that there's value in that, that's not value, okay? That's a freaking timeshare and Cabo pitch. There's no value to somebody sitting down with you guys and telling you about their business. You should have to pay for that. That's them giving you value. And if you don't think that's giving you value, go look at what it costs to run an ad campaign on Google. And then come back to me and tell me, oh, well, if Dave Gast, spends 15 minutes, gives me his roadmap so I can tell him about my business, there's no value in that. Value is, hey, here's something that every logistics manager is having to deal with and nobody's talking about it, right? Value should be something that's helpful for them, whether they do business with you or not. Even if it's an idea they're already aware of. The fact that you're bringing it up and putting it in front of them and saying, hey, I just wanted to make sure you were aware of it, okay? That's valuable. You should be more like a co-pilot than a salesperson. Right? A co-pilot tells the captain, hey, captain, flaps 14% check, right? Fuel level, 47% check, right? Be a good co-pilot. Here's something that we're seeing that nobody's talking about. And even if the captain's like, yes, I understand there's turbulence. Here's my plan. No problem. I will be here when you need to get the bumpy leveled out for you. Fair enough? Instead of like, hey, if you got 27 and a half seconds, I'd like to walk you through how we're helping companies go from XYZ to ABC. It's salesy, guys. It's salesy. Martine, what you got? If you work in sales and you're serious about your career, I'm going to give you $300 right here, right now to close more deals. Did we just become best friends? I think so. My name's Matt Easton. I'm the founder of Easton University. It's the most effective sales coaching system in the world. One little tiny piece of that sales coaching system is our mini masterclass on closing. It's $300. But I'm gonna cover the cost for you right now. I've set some money aside out of our marketing budget. If you click the link here, I will text you a code where you can go and grab the mini masterclass on closing. I'm gonna cover all of the cost for you. You pay nothing. There's no commitment on your end. My hope is that you close so much more business, you come and join us over at Easton University, but that choice is yours. If you want to double, triple, quadruple your closing right now, click the link. I will text you a code to get the Easton University Mini Masterclass on closing right here, right now, and I'm going to cover all the cost for you. Click the link. I'll see you on the other side.